It's always good to go beyond, that face value of the child, and find out what went wrong, what is responsible.
Leaders of the refugee community admit students face difficulties in school, but not to the extent that one East Grand Forks teacher claims.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Brian Perkins heads back to work tomorrow after being placed on administrative leave today. The trouble surrounds an email he wrote claiming Somalia students' lack of attendance is hurting other students' education. After being placed on a 2-week administrative leave, students rallied in his support, and this afternoon the district said he could return to the classroom. Valley News Team's Macy Enger tonight spoke with leaders of the local refugee community, and she joins us now. Macy?
Mike, the people I spoke with, including one from Somalia, work with refugee students. They say some immigrant kids who have a bad attendance record in school have a difficult life at home. But they say that is true with all students, regardless of their culture. Both argue that the ESL program helps students succeed rather than cause students to fall behind. Of course, cultural practices can have an effect on students' attendance, and problems can also arise for refugee students when their parents have very little to no schooling themselves.
How do I even help my son when I don't even know how to read my own name? I don't even know his homework. I can't help them when they come home.
So there are so many scenarios that you need to consider when you're dealing with new immigrant, families.
But both men agree in this area, schools work with refugee families to make sure they're not falling behind, providing mentors and translators. The New American Consortium is also working to provide extra programs to help students and their families. Mike?
All right, Macy, if you'd like more information on resources for your student, the New American Consortium for Wellness and Empowerment can help. We've attached a link on our website. Just go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
A second man is behind bars tonight in connection to a Moorhead murder. Police say 20-year-old Anthony Rodriguez is connected to the murder of 55-year-old Brad Carrington. Rodriguez was arrested today near apartment complexes south of the mall in Fargo. 16-year-old Zachary St. Clair is already in custody and has been charged with first-degree premeditated murder. St. Clair admitted to killing Carrington, saying Carrington had been molesting him for several years. St. Clair is being tried as an adult, and bond has been set at $750,000. Moorhead police say they don't know what charges Rodriguez could be facing. Investigators are still getting his side of the story.
Grand Forks investigators released surveillance photos of the people involved in the Qdoba armed robbery. Take a look. The males are described as African-American, one 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing about 160 pounds. The other is shorter and has a stockier build. Anyone with information of the two are asked to contact the Grand Forks Police Department.
A viewer first alerted us to a problem with a prepaid debit card affecting thousands of people. It's called Rush Card, and you can direct deposit paychecks and government benefits directly to any account. The company, which was founded in 2003 by the hip-hop manager Russell Simmons, was upgrading its technology over a week ago, and as a result, many customers were left with a worthless plastic card and no access to their account. Just today, according to a statement from Rush Card's CEO, people were getting access back on their cards. The company says everyone should be working, and they have set up command centers to deal with any issues.
The IRS and tax industry leaders are stepping up efforts to combat tax-related identity theft. They've tested more than 20 new safeguards to prevent fraudulent refunds beginning in 2016. The new measures mark the latest effort to halt a years-long surge in tax refund fraud. The IRS, state tax authorities, and tax preparation companies will begin sharing details about suspicious tax returns as they're filed in order to catch suspicious returns more quickly. And tax preparers agree to roll out stricter login requirements to better protect taxpayer data. So far, 34 states and 20 tax preparation companies have signed on, with more expected to sign on later.
President Obama is aiming to fight the increase of drug overdose-related deaths. He was in West Virginia today announcing steps he's taking to curb this. Our Washington correspondent, Kelly Meyer, explains.
It's an epidemic that's plagued nearly every city across America and something every community can relate to. Now lawmakers are commending those communities for bringing the concern to a national level.
The president's announcement today means the administration is going to react to what we heard in Knoxville last month about this epidemic.
Tennessee Senator Lamar Alexander says the president's visit to address prescription drug abuse is a direct result of a roundtable discussion in Knoxville. He says the president's announcement includes a concern that Knoxville area physicians and community leaders raised at the roundtable in September. They worried that the Medicare patient satisfaction survey actually had perverse effects, encouraging physicians to overprescribe pain-killing opiates. West Virginia Congressman Evan Jenkins agrees that it was local community concern that pushed this issue into the national spotlight, but wishes the president touched on recovery in his plan.
There are so many people ravaged with the addiction to opioids or heroin or drugs in general and are needing continuity of care.
The president said he'll review the patient satisfaction survey used by Medicare to see if it's a contributing factor in the overprescribing of painkillers. Reporting in Washington, I'm Kelly Meyer.
President Obama visited a family resource center in Charleston, West Virginia, and laid out his steps to take on the war on drugs.
Some of you will be looking for a different route to get to the West Acres Mall, NDSU, or work tomorrow morning if you work north of Interstate 94. This is the way things looked this morning during peak commute on 994. Westbound traffic was stopped or just creeping along, and the situation was much the same on northbound I-29. Crews are fixing the bank on the north side of I-29 between 17th and 13th Avenue South because it's sliding. They're going to need to shut down one of the lanes on the northbound I-29 and one of the ramps onto 13th Avenue. DOT engineer Kevin Gorder says this will likely only be a problem for the morning commute, but he says you'll likely have to put up with this for about 3 weeks.
Plenty of mobility on display tonight for those involved in a local adult sled hockey program. Dozens of participants are feeling a renewed sense of happiness, overcoming physical limitations they deal with daily. The sleds provide them the chance to get around on the ice. Hope Inc. is to thank for this program. It's a Moorhead-based nonprofit that promotes independence for children and young adults with disabilities.
Today is Back to the Future Day. In the movie Back to the Future 2, Marty McFly traveled to save his children yet to be born in the 1985 version of Back to the Future. You got all that? Anyway, tonight in downtown Fargo, the place for future fans was the Fargo Theater. They gathered for Happy Back to the Future Day, where they watched a special screening of the movie Back to the Future 2. Right now, the after party is underway with food, drinks, and music. Let's hope they don't overdo it so that it won't be difficult when the future is now. Remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day.
Valley